Fantastic Four number 5.
Oh, God.
See if I can get through this review
just
without
threw up
Adam
a little in
slapping
my
me.
mouth.
Special 650th issue spectacular. Written by Dan Slott, art by a long list of people that I'm not going to name, but hey, we had some consistency on the letters by Joe Caramagna.
Thank you, Joey.
Thank you, Joe.
So here we are, finally, another, what was it, $8?
Yeah.
And Marvel, man,
Fantastic Four times 2.
it's pissing me off because they're doing their best to run people off of this book that people were so excited about reading. But the one good thing about this compared to the wedding special for me was that at least it was all written by Dan Slott. And I've said this a million times on the podcast. I think he gets the characters and he can write them well. But they've kind of ruined his start to the Fantastic Four. But anyways, oversized book, 3 different stories. We've got the Fantastic Four moving into the apartment on Yancey Street. And it kind of serves as this main ongoing story arc as Slott blends in the other 3 stories. I actually liked the main story or the overall feel of
The
the
strip
book.
club?
No,
Oh,
the
okay.
main story, the overall feel. That's
Oh, okay.
Them moving in, leading to the wedding. I like that Reed folded in extra dimensions because I actually thought when they moved into that apartment, I was like, how is that going to work? So he folds in the extra dimensions and they have twice the space of the Baxter building. Then we get into these side stories. This is where stupid, just cut this out and give me a regular price book. But the first one, what was it? Changing Partners. Sue teaching Ben how to dance. It's just cringe-worthy. I did like the flashback, even though we've seen the origin story a million times. For some reason,
The origin story doesn't work. You can't have these people from the 60s in the 2010s, almost to 2020s, doing what they're doing. It doesn't work anymore.
I didn't mind it. Sorry.
I did. Okay, awesome. Keep going. I'm so glad that you're talking good stuff about this because I am going to diarrhea over it.
Just we'll get there. We'll get there. Hold on. Again,
Spaghetti and chocolate milk.
Again, this side story, it's so much of it is just talking about Ben and Alicia and their relationship and blah, blah, blah. I'm sure somebody out there is going to say it was such a heartfelt moment. It really just took up space and drove up the price of the book. The worst thing in this book was the bachelor party, guys' night out. It was so bad. We have pro wrestling. We have strip poker. We have a 1-page layout of junk swinging clockwise and counterclockwise. Who the hell thought that was a good idea? Finally, the last story, 4-minute warning. And we get to the wedding. Or is it? I love the fact that Ben Grimm pretty much takes the words right out of Adam's mouth with the superhero shenanigans. But at the end of the day, it's all over. It's all said and done. The wedding is here, and we get the return of Galactus, but Victor Von Doom claims that he is going to save the day. And I think Dan Slott's run on Fantastic Four is finally starting.
Well, it only took $50 to get there. That's the Give me the diarrhea one. I want it juicy.
I don't know if I have.
There's no diarrhea button on there. All right, man. I already beefed about the flashback. I won't go there. You already beefed about the strip club and the stupid strip poker. I won't go there. You said some good things about the characters' use here. I thought it was so tropey, like Fantastic Four tropey. Here is Human Torch, the guy who always messes things up because he's a brash young kid, messing things up because he's a brash young kid. Here's Sue Storm, the motherly figure who always tries to keep everybody in line because everybody else in the family is so screwed up, keeping everybody in the family in line because the family is so screwed up. And then her feeling bad about the ego on this woman. To think that Ben Grimm always had this big thing for her, and that's why he's dating Alicia. The ego on this woman. And then Reed Richards, the guy who's the neglected father and husband who's always working, is working. And he's working on something that, of course, they're going to need to make the wedding go off without a hitch.
I'm going to let you finish.
Oh my gosh, dude.
But you're mad because Dan Slott wrote the Fantastic Four.
Cliched and tropey.
Four.
No, he wrote them cliched and tropey. There was nothing new to these characters. There's no enveloping here. What he's saying is you as a reader, you may not know who the Fantastic Four are. So pay $8 and find out. Screw you, Dan Slott. The ego on that guy.
Okay, wait. Then let me say this. Do you think Dan Slott's to blame for this, or do you think Marvel is to blame for this? Because
Dan Slott put his name on it.
But Marvel came to him and said, "Okay, guess what? We're bringing
Give us
back
a
the Fantastic
cliched
Four."
and trophy.
No, calm down.
I'm sorry. I'm very upset about this.
All right, here's Fantastic Four. You get to write it, but we're gonna need a 650th wedding spectacular. We're gonna give you this special edition with 48 different writers, and then we're gonna throw this wedding number 5 at you, and it's gonna have a bunch of different artists. We need you to do this, this, and this.
I think Dan Slott, after his run on Spider-Man, after the power that he's accumulated and the clout that he's accumulated at Marvel Comics, they gave him Iron Man. They gave him Fantastic Four. These are 2 headline they gave him Spider-Man longer than anyone else had ever written Spider-Man. He has some pull at Marvel Comics. No, this is squarely on his round shoulders.
Oh, wow.
I am very upset about this, man. I think it is too. I think it is too.
I am too. I really am. But for some reason, because I've just let it happen, I want to keep reading it. I want to see him actually write these. When we got to the end, I was like, this book was great. And the only reason I'm saying that is because it's like, okay, it starts now. It starts now, which is stupid, and it shouldn't have happened that way.
You're right.
But it is what it is.
I 100% agree with you that I'm going to keep reading this like a battered wife. I am so stupid. I'm going to keep reading this because, dang, Doom and Galactus show up. Of course I'm going to read the next issue. But again, I think this goes back to the overall just repeated kick in the balls that this has been. From the first issue, where we actually did not get the return of the Fantastic Four, up to this issue where you're paying $8 so I can learn who the Fantastic Four are. Oh my God.
It was nothing but wasting space and time.
This is the
until
worst.
we get to 651. Now we can start our story.
This is the worst book of 2018 for so many reasons. There's layers, onions and parfait layers of terrible going on here. Sarah Pichelli getting off the book after 3 issues. I mean, I could go on and on about how terrible this relaunch has been. But you're right. January, they're talking it's going to be Fantastic Four week. Galactus and Doom show up. I'm 100% in for the next issue. And I feel like such a hypocrite. I think that's what I'm really frustrated about the most.
I think you're just admitting that you're mad, but you want to read it.
Yeah.
Adam's dying to talk, so I'm going to stop.
You've got because you all have high hopes and you believe. You got faith.
Yeah, I'm blind. I'm a blind believer, man.
I've lost in that. How many? I should have looked this up before the podcast, but I want to know in these first 5 issues, how much money total was the 5 issues? Like from number 1.
Number 1 was 8. This one was 8. The rest were 4, and we had a special.
Yeah,
there's
so
actually
really
been 6 issues. And that was a $7 or $8 book too. So yeah, you're talking 24 plus 3 at 5 is 15. You're talking like $40.
Yeah, they've had plenty of time. If they wanted to, if they wanted to do this, what they should have done is do a wedding event for the 2. That could be a 5-issue miniseries, and then start Fantastic Four number 1.
That's basically what they're doing. Like again, it's all around this stupid 650th issue. I really think that's what I think if when Dan Slott took over, it was at issue 605. I don't think we would be having this conversation. Yeah, I think it would have been a different story.
But I'm absolutely refusing to buy any more Fantastic Four books.
And how can you blame anybody for saying that?
Nope, I can't blame anybody. I blame myself for thinking the opposite way. Why am I still buying this?
I see it as wasted money. I will say in regards to this book, I actually liked the art by Adam Hughes on Guys Night Out. I liked all the art throughout the book. Even
I like that one-page strip club scene.
Dude,
I like the
cowboy boot propped up on the table.
I think my favorite panel, just because it made me chuckle, was the strip poker But,
right.
And it was who was it that was like wearing everybody's clothes?
It's she's got a guy's name, but they end it with an A. I don't remember. She's an old villain, Thundra or Titania or something like that.
Thundra.
Titania, maybe.
That was probably my favorite panel.
And there's a panel.
I found it funny.
There's a panel where it's just Ben Grimm's eyes. I think it's when he's meeting his Aunt Petunia or some crap, and that was stupid too. Why are the Fantastic Four and friends flying commercial? Give me a break. What is going on in this comic book? Can we move on? I hate everything about this. I'm so mad at myself.
I'm going to give it just one little teeny benefit of the doubt in that I felt like the Changing Partners story was not so much the story itself, but how it was laid out was well done. The emotion of how it was laid out. Saying that it could have been applied to any two people in a situation of it laid out. I thought it was kind of a well done.
Well, and they laid out through the whole book, kind of starting with going back to the origin story and the way everything is that Reed's always too busy. Reed's always too busy. Reed's always too busy. And there was a payoff there. You can say it's goofy, but that he knew that comic book shenanigans were going to take place. And the reason he was too busy through this whole comic book is because he wanted to make sure that Ben and Alicia got their 4 minutes to get their to get married. And you can make fun of that all you want. I like that. I like that writing.
I did.
It should have been like, how did you know, Reed? Oh, Deadpool told me. Evidently, he thinks we're all in a comic book.
Right.